So if you've seen any of my recent videos, you might have seen me mention this summertime bingo board. It was put out by Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand and Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library. I will link Sarah's video, which is the one that I first saw it in, down below if you wanted to, you know, do it yourself. You can go download their board. One of the squares is go to the library. And I don't normally go to the library like in person. Mostly I use my library for Overdrive or Libby or whatever it is now, for like audiobooks and ebooks. Mostly because, as I mentioned in pretty much every video I make, I'm a really slow reader. And when I go to the library, I tend to get very ambitious. So I end up walking out with a whole armful of books and I read approximately 0 of them before I bring them back. So yeah, usually I don't do like in-person library visits, but my husband came home early from work the other day and he was just kind of like, hey, didn't you say you want to go to the library before we go on vacation? And I was like, oh yeah. So we ended up going to the library and I did indeed walk out with an armful of books. Again, usually I don't read any of them. I ended up getting 4 books and that would be pretty ambitious for me, but we are going on vacation, like I just said. So the main reason that I don't have a lot of time to read is because I'm always working or driving. I think on vacation, even though we are going away, I'm going to have more downtime. There's going to be time in the car because we're taking a road trip. There's going to be, you know, time when we're just relaxing at the hotel. So I'm going to bring at least a couple of these with me and we will see how I do. But I figured I would just do a quick little library haul to show you what I got. So the first book I got was right when I walked in the door. They have like a new acquisition section. So I got a couple of books from that. So the first one I got is Noor, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't really know. By Nnedi Okorafor. And this is about, from the blurb on the inside, what I remember before I picked it up. It's about a girl who has like, I don't remember if it's because of like a health condition or a car accident or something, but she has like parts of her body have been replaced by like machine or like mechanical parts or something. I think they called it augmentations. And then something happens and she's like on the run from the law. It's a science fiction book, I think. Yeah, I don't know that much about it. Like I said, I just read like the little blurb on the inside, but it was enough to pique my interest. And this book is really short. It's like just over 200 pages. So I figured this would be a good quick read. And the next book I got was also from the new acquisition section, and that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. I actually don't really know anything about this. I didn't even read the blurb on the inside, but I've seen a few people talk about it on BookTube, and from their descriptions, I thought it sounded interesting. So while I can't actually tell you anything about it, I know I want to read it. Inside it says, an enthralling debut fantasy inspired by the legend of Chang'e, the Chinese moon goddess, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother sets her on a dangerous path and pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. Yeah, like I said, I've just seen some people talk about it. It sounded really good. The cover is also really pretty, and now actually I'm looking at it. It has flowers on the cover, which I think is also, yep, it's on there. A book with, you might just have to believe me, a book with flowers on the cover is one of the squares. So, hey, that fits for a prompt. So that's exciting. And yeah, this cover is just really pretty. I like it. Anyway, yeah, so I want to read that. The next one is a young adult book by Brandon Sanderson. I read a synopsis of it once and I thought it sounded really interesting, but then I just never picked it up. And then I just happened to be walking past the young adult section and I saw it, like it popped out at me. They had a few different copies of it, so it kind of took up a, like it was a color block that caught my eye. And that is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. When I picked this up off the shelf, my husband was kind of like, oh, do you want to read that? He listened to the audiobook. He said it was alright. It wasn't really his favorite. But what I know about this is it's about people with like superhero type powers, but they're not necessarily heroes. I feel like I'm forgetting the words that I wanted to use to describe it, but that's pretty much what I know about this book, is they have powers or special abilities, but they're not necessarily heroes, or like not necessarily everyone is a hero. And I kind of like that idea. I liked it in Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I like the concept of it in The Boys, that Amazon Prime show. I guess it's also a comic book series. But I like that as a concept, so I figured I would give this a try. And it's young adult, so it shouldn't take that long to get through because it should be a pretty easy read, I assume. And then the last book I got is a thriller. It's something that I've been meaning to read for a long time, and I just never got around to. I didn't watch the TV show. I think it was on Netflix. Yes, I know it was on Netflix. I didn't watch the Netflix show, but I've been interested in it and I just never picked it up, and that is You by Caroline Kepnes. It's a psychological thriller. Basically, I think it's told in like second person, like the stalker is talking to the girl that he's stalking. So that sounded interesting to me. So yeah, I want to read this. I've been wanting to read it for a while and I just never picked it up. This was another one. So when I go to the library, I don't necessarily go there to look for anything specific. I go there just to walk around. And I just happened to walk down the aisle this was in, and The Spine caught my attention, so I picked it up. So these are all the books that I got on my recent trip to the library. Like I said, we are going on vacation, so hopefully I will have a lot of downtime and I'll at least get through a couple of them before they are due back, which doesn't usually happen. But wish me luck. I like having choices, so maybe that's why I always get so many books when I go to the library, so I can have choices. And I think I have a pretty good range of things here. Psychological thriller, young adult sci-fi, fantasy. I think this is adult fantasy, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then a short little sci-fi. So I think that's good. Have you read any of these books? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Do you think I'll like them? Yeah, share some opinions if you have any on any of these books. And I will see you next time. Bye.